So Neil, tell me a little bit about how the whole idea kind of came to fruition.
Well, it's just a concept from making records and realizing things went downhill with what we were giving the people. It wasn't as good as what we used to give them. Pono's for music listeners. Pono's for people who like music, who love music, because it's made for that. That's why it's the shape it is, so it can get the components in there that deliver the sound that people want to hear when they love music. And it's not a phone. It doesn't do many different things at kind of a consumer level quality. It raises the consumer level quality of music to where it was pre-1980, which is kind of amazing when you think of how great everything is in the 21st century, but audio quality has gone downhill to the point where it's the largest opportunity for improvement of any media.
What was the timeline like from, kind of like the idea in your head to the germination to the birth of Pono?
Well, it's been since I knew something was wrong with what I was hearing since the early 80s. So it's been a long time I've been thinking about it, but I didn't really think about doing a company to do this until like 2001, 2002, something like that. I thought about, well, maybe I could do that. And I did a little, just writing things and trying to describe things. And then by, I guess, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago or so, maybe 3.5.
Why choose Kickstarter to launch the project? I know you had other investors as well.
Well, we had some investors. We do have, and thank goodness that we have the investors that we had, because we were able to get as far as we could, far enough to be able to show the product and do all of this and create a lot of things and put together our basic infrastructure. But a lot of people had to work the last couple of months without getting paid and everything, because we couldn't get investors to be interested in saving an art form.
Right, fair.
There's really no investment opportunity as far as most of them saw through their windows.
Do you think it's going to be bigger than vinyl, which is what 1%, 2%, 3% of music right now?
I don't think there's any doubt that it's going to be bigger than vinyl. Vinyl's great. All that shows is that it's the only alternative.
Right.
It's the only alternative, and it's the most inconvenient alternative. And it's already been polluted by people making vinyl records out of digital masters that are low-quality digital masters.
When you hear vinyl and when you hear Pono, I mean, how does the sound compare in your mind?
Well, Pono it depends on the source of the Pono music. Pono is not a format. Pono is an interpretation, a literally translation of the exact same thing. It's like presenting what the artist did.
Sure.
So if an artist created a record on a digital format today and put it out on vinyl, I would think you'd be closer to what the artist created if you listened to Pono.
Okay. And on Pono, I mean, I know that a lot of artists say, and I think maybe you're one of them, that there's something about vinyl, there's a warmth to it, and do you feel that the Pono player captures that? I mean, that even
absolutely captures all the warmth in the records, and that's what the artists that we play it for think. And we know that through my own listening, I know that the sound of Pono is superb. It's a great sound. There's no magic with Pono. There's no special sauce. There's nothing. It's the absence of interference.
Right.
And the interference is where the investors come in. You see, the investors are investing in IP. To have IP, you have to do something to the sound to make it yours. And then everybody has to use your sound. And that always makes it worse because it was fine in the first place. At this point, we don't need that.
Right. And what do you say to the people who say, I'm fine with my MP3s. I just can't tell the difference?
I've never heard anybody that couldn't tell the difference. But if I ever did meet them, I'd say, you're set.
Yeah.
You got what you need.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's cool. If they like it, there's nothing. It's music. I love music. If they want music and they're happy with their MP3s, they shouldn't be dissatisfied. I'm certainly not putting down people who have MP3 collections.
And as I mean, the trend has been toward streaming in recent years. I mean, can you envision a future where the technology exists and the internet connections are good enough that you might be able to do a Pono streaming service, or is that just not quite on the horizon yet?
Well, it may be on the horizon. it doesn't exist right now.
Right.
And the thing about high bandwidth streaming is that it's high bandwidth. And as you move around the world, bandwidth changes. So your quality will keep changing, or you'll get an interrupt. So you won't really know that what quality you're getting. And there's a lot of parts to it that have to be right. To get it to stream to your device is one thing, but then your device, whatever you're streaming to, has got to have a good DAC and a good playback.
And I guess last question, what's next for you?
Well, this will take a little bit of time, I think. And, you know, I have a record coming out in a couple of weeks. Doing some tours and doing some shows and stuff. You know, I'm still active as a performer, so I don't want to give that up.